Our next guest is Sharon from the Maine Citizens Trade Committee. Please introduce us your organization and what is your opinion? What are the possible threats and dangers of TTIP?
Okay. Well, I'm a member of the Maine Citizen Trade Commission, and what we do is we look at the impact of trade agreements on U.S. state governments, particularly in my state, which is the state of Maine. We're way up in the northeast corner of the United States, very rural, right on the ocean. Big focus on agriculture and on natural resources, fishing, farming, cutting of trees. So the concerns are that TTIP could affect our policies on GMOs. We have passed a law saying GMOs should be labeled, but we're very concerned that TTIP will get in the way of that. There's provisions called regulatory cooperation that are intended to get rid of regulations or put a very high burden on proving that whatever you're doing, your standard is in fact going to protect the public and won't burden trade. And of course, any policy that goes beyond what is at the federal level, whether it's at the United States level or whether at the European Commission level, would probably be considered too much of a burden on trade. So, we have other concerns, but that's just an example, of the particular policies that we're worried about. We see that in our country, there's not that much regulation at the U.S. government level on chemicals in the environment, for example, or pesticides. We're very concerned about pesticides that kill bees, which affects the environment, but also our food supply. And one of the concerns we have is that in the United States, the state governments, which are all the 50 states, like my state of Maine, are the ones that are actually doing the protection. So we have passed policies because our federal government has not. And we're very concerned, and we know that Monsanto and DuPont and all these really big agribusiness companies are interested in making sure that we do not regulate at the state level, and they want to use TTIP as a way of preventing us or slowing down activities at the lower level to protect the public.
Okay, so Hungary is also an agriculture country, and we also have the GMO-free status of Hungary in our constitution. So what is your main message to Hungarian and European citizens regarding TTIP?
I think you should be concerned about it and quite skeptical. This is a trade policy that, at least from the point of view of the United States negotiators, is being advanced on behalf of the largest corporations in the world. And around food, these are agribusiness corporations. I know there was a report that just came out in the last week about who are the companies that lobby the most on the European Commission, and it's the agribusiness companies. So both on the land, in the United States on one side of the Atlantic, and then the European Union on the other side of the Atlantic, we have the biggest agribusiness companies lobbying this agreement. Well, what do they want? They want to be able to sell their GMO products, and they want to be able to plant GMO crops. There's no question about it. They've been very public in stating this in public testimony that I've sat and heard right in the United States. So we know that is the goal, and there's provisions that are in this agreement or proposed, which include the ISDS, the special arbitration panel that only companies can go to. Farmers and the public can't go to that. That will most likely be in unless people in the European Union fight back against it. And that is going to be targeted against different regulations in one country that aren't the same as what's in the entire European Union. So if Hungary has policies around GMO, it's quite likely that those will be targeted and challenged in this ISDS process by these corporations.
Sharon, thank you very much.
You're welcome.